Hello and welcome to episode 58 of Waxing Lyrical with Mainz and Dutts. I'm Mainz and my broken back colleague in Rainford is Mr. Neil Dutton. Neil, how are we?
That's broken back, not broke back. And I'm enjoying this podcast with Jeremiah Weeds Sour Mash.
Excellent. Sponsored and injured. Tell the people about the back, Neil. Everyone needs to know.
The back is just something that seems to be getting worse as I get older. I fear, maybe on reflection it was a mistake to take up wicket keeping at the age of 32, which I did last year. But if I'm to be damned, let me be damned for what I truly am, and that's a moron.
Well, stick to what you're good at. It's what I've always been told, and you've always been excellent at being a moron. So this week, Waxers, it's guest topic pick week. Our boss from the UK End Zone and the host of First Take UK, the man, the myth, the legend, Ollie Connolly, gave us some topics that he wanted us to discuss. So we're going to discuss them.
He demanded we discuss them.
He demanded, yeah. And he's the boss, Dutton.
He is indeed.
And we don't want to get fired.
No.
So we're going to discuss overpaid athletes, divisive actors, and our thoughts on House of Cards now we've finally started watching it. Should we get this thing going, Dutton?
Let's roll.
Let's do this. So I assume, based on the fact that fellow Scouser Wayne Rooney got a new contract this week, Ollie wanted us to look at most overpaid athletes, and we were happy to oblige. So Dutton, £300,000 a week for Mr. Rooney. He's good, but in my opinion, he's not great. For example, I don't think he's top 5 in the world. But now he's one of the most paid. That's got to be ridiculous, right?
It is ridiculous. I mean, obviously, it's a number higher than he can count to.
3?
Yeah, he knows there's 3 and a few zeros in it. Ultimately, though, it's one of these people who are attacking Wayne Rooney grow up, come into the 21st century. It's not him, it's the game.
This is not a Wayne Rooney issue.
No, this is a football issue. This stupid, shadow of the sport you grew up watching has now become out of control, and its veracity to devour every single penny you own. And unfortunately, the byproduct of that is players are going to be paid sums of money that we can only dream of earning in our lifetime in a week or a month. Don't blame the player. He was very good at football when he was seen as 7 years old. Life's a bitch. Get on with it. Go and play something else. I have.
I've got no issue with Rooney. The issue, obviously, is Man U think that he's worth that money. My dad thinks it's a statement of intent. After last night, they need more than an intent. They need 7 other players and probably could done with the cash. Anyway, let's get on with talking about other overpaid athletes that people may not know, or some that they will, and give you a kind of concept of, at least Rooney's good. Whether you think he's the best in the world is different. But we're going to give you a concept of players who, in multiple sports, who are pretty crap, if we're brutally honest, but get paid an awful lot of money. First of all, Dutton,
won't go hungry.
Yeah. First of all, Dutton, last season, Jets starting quarterback, or he was before he got injured, Mark Sanchez, earned $8.25 million. That works out at about £160,000 a week. He was injured all year, and he's awful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money, Neil. Tell people how bad Mark Sanchez is.
Mark Sanchez is, as a player, is known for his part in a fumble where he ran into his own offensive lineman's arse and dropped the football.
But fumble!
If it's one of those, they know how great you are if the NFL, if you've had a rule named after you, you've got the Mel Blount rule, you've got the Adam Vinatieri rule, you've got the Michael Irvin rule. To be called after the butt fumble, obviously, is not a sign of greatness.
It should be.
It should be, because, most of us, spend most of our time talking out of it, but we've never actually fumbled one of them.
We haven't. 160 grand a week, though, Dutton. That is a serious amount of cash for someone who literally did not make a play all year because he was injured. But it looked like it wouldn't be making a play anyway because he was going to be a backup.
Well, He's another example, though. Unfortunately, he came in at a time when the rookie wage scale was still stupid, so he was on stupid money anyway. And then the Jets gave him a massive contract extension 2 years ago. Well, what's he going to do? Say, no, I'm good, thanks.
I think this is where we need to, as we said with Rooney, we are not attacking these players for earning this money. What we're saying is they earn a lot of money. Their clubs gave them a lot of money, and they're crap. This is a club issue, not a player issue.
Yeah.
This is not a player issue. This is not Mark Sanchez's fault. This is the New York Jets' fault. Talent evaluation, rubbish. Monetary evaluation, rubbish. And they're paying the penalty on it.
Agreed. Here.
Next Dutton. Former Washington Wizard basketball player Gilbert Arenas.
Never heard of him. You lead.
This is the thing. Agent Zero he was talented. He scored a lot of points. He took the Wizards to the playoffs. He had a cruciate knee ligament injury. Decided to rehab himself. He didn't need the team doctors. That's a good idea. He then did it again. Became a locker room cancer. Poop in someone's shoe. Gun in a locker room. Just Google it. Last year, he earned $22.3 million, which roughly works out at £430,000 a week. Do you know how many games he played in the NBA?
Shoe.
He pooped in someone's shoe, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you came back to the room. Just Google it. Do you know how many games he played in the NBA last year? Not for the Wizards.
4.
0. He actually wasn't in the NBA. He was actually told to stay away. And he still earned £430,000 a week.
I'd take $400,000 a week to not go near the NBA.
Yeah, I'm sure teams have paid that because I've seen you dribble.
I've won medals at basketball, and also the first time I ever broke my nose was playing basketball.
But seriously, I know you won the medal in basketball. You stayed at the weigh and give it to, what was that dude's name? Mullen, yeah, exactly.
If in any sport I played at school, generally the tactic was get the ball to Mullen, whatever the sport was.
$22 million.
Mullen, by the way.
Sorry?
Happy birthday to Mullen for tomorrow, by the way. He won't be listening.
He won't be listening, and happy birthday to him. I'm sure he'll enjoy his vegan pie. $22 million, $430,000 a week, and you're not even in the league anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, guaranteed contracts. That's special. He's awful. Gets a lot of money. Next one. A favour of mine. Mr. Alex Rodriguez. Third baseman of the New York Yankees.
Drug cheat.
/ drug cheat.
Drug cheat.
Yeah, but well done. That makes him the same as half of the NFL.
Drug cheat.
I know. $28 million last year, Dutton. £540,000 a week. Didn't play from April till August. Came back. Created a biogenesis scandal, which proved that about 30 players in Major League Baseball were all taking performance-enhancing drugs.
Drug cheat.
Was banned for a whole year. But guess what? He's still owed $150 million, even when he doesn't play this year. And will still get it.
Rich drug cheat.
And I saw his last home run against the San Francisco Giants. I'm honoured to say at Yankee Stadium. Go me and Kate. Woo!
Well played. Well played. Drug cheat.
He is a drug cheat, Dutton. And I'm with you all the way on this. And I hear what you're saying. I go back to my previous comments of our favourite American sport is the NFL / our favourite sport. And 40% of the team that won the Super Bowl last year were banned for taking performance-enhancing drugs. And no one cared.
Drug cheat.
No one cared.
I've actually put myself on repeat here. I've actually left the room.
You've got like that button you have on the lead singers have with they play the guitar just on a loop.
That's it. I've got a soundboard.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, the NFL won't give me permission to use my pretzel soundbite, so apparently that belongs to them now.
I love that. Final one on this, Dutton. A man close to my heart, formerly, and also a goal scorer tonight. It's
Personal
Wednesday,
attack
by the
caught
way.
by personal attack caught by propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. This is no personal attack. Fernando Torres is on 10.8 million a year. That's 200 grand a week. And we could ask Chelsea fans, he's garbage and has been garbage since they bought him 3.5 years ago.
You know, the sad thing is, let's peel the onion and go back. If you can offer an objective point of view, how good was he at Liverpool? Seriously, he was that spell. His first 2 years.
Those 2 years, he was frightening, Dutton. He was better than most I'd ever seen. Probably behind finishing would be behind Fowler. But in terms of, like, frightening, he's got the ball, something's going to happen. He was probably number one at that point. And his goals proved it. He got Nemanja Vidic sent off 50 times, I think, against Liverpool.
Did he get paid? And we know this phenomenon. You know what a phenomenon be. He got paid. He got comfortable. He got fat.
I think so. I think his Chelsea issue was actually his Liverpool issue. I think due to the things that went on at Liverpool and the fact he played a lot of football, he seemed to fall out of love with playing football. And I just don't think he's ever got it back. Although I think he's tried really hard to get it back at Chelsea. When he first started, I thought he didn't care. I think he does care. He just can't get back to where he wants to be. Put it this way. This game, I believe, against Galatasaray equals. That means he played the same amount of games for Chelsea as he did for Liverpool. And if he scores 46 goals tonight, he would match his record at Liverpool.
What? How long's left? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Don't rule it out.
But do you know what I mean? That shows you how many goals he did score for us, and how many he hasn't scored for Chelsea. But 200 grand a week's a lot of money for someone who hasn't been good and can barely get in that Chelsea team now. And the managers actually said they haven't got any strikers.
It's because he keeps loaning them out.
He does, yeah. But he doesn't like that Lukaku. That Lukaku, they'll sell him. They'll use him as a make-weight in some kind of Diego Costa deal for Atletico Madrid. You heard it here first.
Lukaku does seem to be coming across as someone who has a very, very high opinion of Romelu Lukaku.
If I look like Romelu Lukaku at 19, I'd have a high opinion of myself too.
See, we're happy to accept that he was 19, but where's that fellow who plays for Lazio? We're not believing he's 17.
Oh, that 41-year-old. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
Seems
an old
legit.
man's face.
Seems legit. He basically looks like my dad. But a bit darker, but he looks like my dad. So obviously he's 17.
But Daniel Amokachi and Kanu played in the Olympics for the under-23s. Yeah.
I got invited to their 21st birthday next week.
Yeah, exactly. I love Nigerian footballers making up date to birth. It's amazing.
Nah.
So what we've learnt is there's a lot of players who are overpaid. They are. But we shouldn't blame them. We should congratulate them. You get offered the money. Take that money, man. Sign the contract. And then laugh at the football clubs / basketball teams / American football teams who are paying you stupid wages.
As we've said in the past, there's a very, very high proportion of NFL players who, within 4 years of their career ending, are bankrupt.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, these players are going to waste the money anyway. So let them
get that money while you can, guys. We commend it. We really do. But a lot of you are overpaid.
I wouldn't take the pay cut myself, but, enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on, Neil. Look at was divisive actors and actresses. I assume he chose that because he knows I can't say divisive. So what we both did was we thought we'd look through the world of Hollywood and find actors and actresses who we liked and people didn't, or we don't like and people do, and see where we went. So first one, Dutton. Mel Gibson. This is just me. Stop killing English people, Mel. Just leave it alone.
What's his beef?
He hates the English, Dutton. Crazy convict.
Well,
FC UK.
Mel Gibson has made some watchable films. I mean, I like Lethal Weapon. I think they're a very good buddy comedy film.
I like Lethal Weapon. Good film.
Yeah, there's a few films other than that. He's done like was it Ransom, and Payback. They're watchable films. Other than that, yeah, he kills English people in film. Gets some kind of weird kick out of it.
And that Passion of the Christ thing, Dutton.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Can you tell the Waxers your story on Passion of the Christ, please?
What's that?
The comedy one.
Oh, I prefer the Monty Python version.
Yeah, or when the woman asked you what the Passion of the Christ was like, and your response was, what was your response?
2004 was at the Odeon. I said, it's dead sad. He dies at the end.
Or another classic I heard was, to be honest, love, I prefer the book.
Also, if these people go to a cinema and can't take a joke, they shouldn't be going to cinema.
It's true. It's true. I liked him in Mad Max, but the Braveheart, the Patriot, Passion of the Christ, that Apocalypto or whatever it was, that and all recent films, I just don't like him, and he loves himself.
And of course, the drunken anti-Semitism generally comes into some people's opinion of him.
That does, and it comes into mine. I don't like him. Dutton, going to go controversial on the next one. Sandra Bullock.
I want you to name me 5 people now who don't like Sandra Bullock. Worldwide.
I haven't got a list.
Apart from her ex-husband.
Her ex-husband and me. There's 2. I don't know. Bob.
Who's Bob?
I don't know. You just said name 5 people. There'll be a Bob who doesn't like Sandra Bullock.
No, I want 5 people who with a web presence.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is, Waxers, if you don't like Sandra Bullock, tweet us at waxing_lyrical or at Mainzy7 or at Ends13. I don't like her. Never get on a piece of transport with her. Never be a bus or a cruise liner or a spaceship. You're in for disaster.
Have you seen 2 Weeks' Notice?
Yeah, it's not very good.
It's one of the funniest films I saw of that time.
No, it's not, Neil.
It is.
It's Hugh Grant in a stupid tie.
Yeah. It's what the cinema public want to watch.
It's like Miss Congeniality. Awful.
Now, I know you're upset, but you are going to remember that there are 2 of my heroes in the Miss Congeniality films. Michael Caine and Sir William Lord of Shatner.
It's an awful film, and I like both of those people. Awful film.
It really isn't an awful film.
I think she's been in 7 rom-coms with either Matthew McConaughey or Ryan Reynolds. Also awful.
The day when McConaughey wasn't an edgy actor.
He is now, though, isn't he? Living on the edge, and he needs to eat a pie.
I've done that.
Yeah, you bet. Matthew McConaughey's pies.
There's no pies for McConaughey. Because, it's nice to know that, eventually I can release him from the quarantine that he was placed in after being in U571.
I can't even remember that film.
Let me.
You hold a grudge a lot more than me.
I hold a grudge against films that try and rewrite history.
That narrows it down to most films.
Harvey Keitel is lucky that he was the wolf, because he was very close to quarantine after his role in U571.
I literally can't remember this film. We worked at the pictures. I don't remember a single scene of it. And I watched it with you.
Yeah, the Americans stole the Enigma machine, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that was why I forgot about it.
The Enigma machine that the British stole before the Americans even entered the war.
Details, Neil, details.
Yeah, silly me.
Next, you'll be telling me that because of Enemy of the Gates, English people aren't Russian and Americans aren't German.
We've had this Christopher Lambert last week.
We did. Let's move on. Dutton, someone who I think we both like, but a lot of people hate. That's Russell Crowe.
Love Russell Crowe.
Love Russell Crowe. He's, father to a murdered son and husband to a murdered wife, and he'll have vengeance in this life or the next.
He will.
American Gangster. We both love that film.
Yeah, he was excellent in Master and Commander.
Master and Commander.
The 310 to Yamaha.
He was good in 310 to Yamaha.
He's Javert.
He is Javert. Can't sing. Really can't sing. You watched that, right?
I've watched it, yeah.
He can't sing.
He can't sing.
Why did he pick him if he can't sing?
Singing version of Les Mis, He's perfect for Javert. Unfortunately, it wasn't. So, sorry, Ross.
Couldn't you pick someone else?
To sing, yeah?
To play Javert, just pick someone who can sing with a beard.
Sing with a beard. Bryn Terfel?
I don't even know who that is.
He's a Welsh bloke.
Okay, I'm going to say yeah. Yeah. He's not so good in Robin Hood. That was crap.
What was his ever-changing accent?
And he was garbage in... Well, he wasn't garbage. He was in Man of Steel, which is garbage.
But as I pointed out, though, about Man of Steel, Superman obviously has two dads. He has Jonathan Kent and he has Kal-El.
No, he has.
Kal-El.
Robin of Sherwood and Robin of Sherwood.
And Robin of Locksley, yeah. So both his dads were Robin Hood.
Yep.
My dad wasn't a bandit.
No. Amazing.
I'm pretty sure yours wasn't.
He wasn't. He wasn't. He can barely walk, never mind be a bandit.
I know how he feels.
Yeah. His is a hip, yours is a back, though.
Yeah, but between us...
So, on the Divisive actors, we're both in the Crow camp and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
So, the next one I came to, I got this one. I googled, divisive actresses or actresses people hate. The internet hates Anne Hathaway. It hates her. I don't get it.
Why?
I don't get it. Is people seen her in Batman? Have people seen Les Mis? Sure.
Have people seen her?
But maybe this is it, Dutton. You may have hit the nail on the head. Is it the female population of the planet who hate this lady?
Is this like the female population that tells you their ugly mate is lovely and has a great personality, whereas the really fit one must be a bitch?
I am not getting involved in this conversation. You want to dig your grave, you carry on, son.
Well, I'm pretty sure, we've got, one female listener maybe, so...
Yeah, but I live with that one female listener, so I'm not getting involved in this.
You may think that.
People hate Anne Hathaway, Dutton. I don't know why.
People use hotels for you.
They do.
Anything for you, cupcake.
Where was that last week, Dutton? That was a fatal flaw by us.
The same with, as Ollie wants us to point out, perfume adverts and that fella who has the Shaw tick on his back.
Yeah.
For Sky Sports News. Stupid adverts.
But I think the perfume ones are just comedy adverts now. They're not serious, so I don't see them as awful adverts. I mean, that Hotels For You one, that is a fatal flaw on our part. How we did that, I never know.
They're such a pretty couple.
Oh, just Jesus, let's not talk about it. Let's move on.
If you were in a traffic jam and they were in the car next to you, you'd hope their airbags weren't working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just not good. Not good at all. Next, I hate this guy, Tom Cruise.
Do we have to?
What good films has he been in? Name me 4.
Top Gun.
Name me any film that isn't a chick flick with tendencies of man-on-man action.
I find your lack of Top Gun faith disturbing.
I like Top Gun in its context, which is a chick flick.
Risky Business.
Love Rebecca De Mornay. Okay, I'll give you that.
Cocktail.
Are we sensing a pattern here, Dutton? We haven't got past 1987 yet.
Yeah, well, now there's Jerry Jones.
Right.
Tom Cruise is, a deluded dwarf. But that doesn't deny the fact that he looks like the fellow who played Maverick.
He does look like the fellow who played Maverick. He does also think God is going to come down in a spaceship. He also did Reacher. He's 5'4", and Reacher was supposed to be 6'5".
I'm just remembering. I've just literally read your briefing notes. He was excellent in Collateral.
He was excellent in Collateral.
Although he's gone and killed everyone with one shot throughout the whole film. Jamie Foxx has stood right in front of him and he misses. What are you, an Imperial Stormtrooper?
Details. I'm glad you actually read the rundown notes and I don't just write them on my lunch break for no reason.
Well, I've got to read something.
Exactly.
I've read the back of this Rice Krispie Squares packet 3 times while you were talking about that Washington who poos in shoes.
Poos and shoes. That's Agent Zero to you. Dutton, last one. Bring them back to the only lady who listens to the show. Well, it's not strictly two, we do have more, but the one I live with. Kate. Her hatred for Amy Adams knows no bounds. When I spoke to her before, she actually ranted about it for 5 minutes.
That's not an impressive rant.
Dutton, there was a lot of swearing that you don't expect from a lady.
But you can't get everything out in a 5-minute rant.
You can't. I had to stop her. She was still in full flow. Yeah. She hates Amy Adams, although she loved American Hustle, but won't say that Amy Adams was good in it when she blatantly is. She can't get past the fact she was in Muppets or the Singing Princess one. And
what's wrong with the Muppets?
There's nothing wrong with the Muppets. It's just she's awful in it, and she will never.
If you're being outacted by a sock, then yeah, you're probably in a bit of trouble.
And she was. So it was Siegel, is it? Is it Siegel? The guy from How I Met Your Mother, who isn't Neil Patrick Harris.
Jason Siegel.
That's him. Yeah, he gets outacted by multiple socks as well. And her performance as Lois Lane is possibly the worst thing about Man of Steel, and that's tough. So I'm a ginger, right? But she's a dour. I am. You may have heard.
You've kept that quiet.
She's a dour ginger in Man of Steel. Superman ain't falling for no dour ginger. Ain't happening in this lifetime or the next. Reimagined or not, he ain't going out with Amy Adams. He's going out with Terry Hatcher.
So maybe, we need to get rid of Lois Lane and what was the other one called? Another alliterative name. And Superman. Help me.
Lex Luthor. Lana Lane.
Lana Lane. A lot of L's, wasn't there?
He loved an L, whoever the dude was who lazily wrote Superman. Yeah, I'm still doing that.
I thought so.
I'm still doing it. So anyway, we've got some divisive actors. Have you got some? Tweet us. If you agree with me that Sandra Bullock is not good, tweet us at waxing_lyrical. We can do this forever, but we're not going to. So let's move on. So with the rest of the world.
Well, we've begun to.
That's a good point. And we've started watching House of Cards, the American version with Kevin Spacey.
Correct. Obviously, it has to be the American version because in the British version, his name was Francis Urquhart.
It was,
but obviously, Urquhart is far too English a name.
That is the most English name ever. What do we need to do, first of all, before we can talk about House of Cards?
Spoiler alert?
No, well, 2 things. Spoiler alert, and we need to thank Kate for letting her use her Netflix account.
Thank you, Kate.
Money's in the post, Neil, isn't it?
It is.
Aren't we tremendously grateful?
Yeah.
Right. After that bit, we're going to move on. So, we're going to give some basic thoughts. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, please go away now. You've enjoyed the first 28 minutes. Come back when you've started watching it. Done. First things first, Kevin Spacey. Does it get any better than Kevin Spacey?
Best actor on the planet. And it's not even close.
He's unbelievably good in this. It's like frightening. It's like no one's actually ever acted before and Kevin Spacey's teaching everyone.
Yeah, if it's like the film, The Invention of Lying, if the version was The Invention of Acting, Kevin Spacey is leading the way.
He is. He's absolutely fantastic, and bravo to him. And as I said, I'm like halfway through season 1. I think you are too, and I'm sure he continues with that.
I've actually only watched the 1 episode.
Oh, you only watched episode 1? Okay, I've watched.
I will say this. I've also only watched 1 episode of Breaking Bad. And if pressed, and I could only watch 1 of the series, I would watch House of Cards before Breaking Bad.
I think you would, and I don't think the first episode of Breaking Bad's a good way to start either.
Usually most series have to start with the first episode, you find.
Thanks for that, but that's not what I'm saying.
I know, but you don't look like a dillweed if I don't point it out.
Exactly. Excellent use of dillweed. Thanks for taking me back to 1992 America.
Hop aboard.
Next on, Robin Wright, his wife. Sneaky
Really?
old hot.
No, I think she's with Jagged.
You think?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Excellent actress though, and playing a really good part. I'll say that because you haven't seen it. She will continue to be good.
You're getting hints from the first episode that she's as much a player as Frank Underwood is.
Yes, and that will continue. I will give you that. Next one, linked to the NFL. The owner of the Giants, his granddaughter's in this, Kate Mara. Mm-hmm. What did you call her, Dutton?
Slamming Hottie.
Slamming Hottie.
Yes, I'm a 33-year-old male. Yes, from England. Thanks for calling.
And he did call her #slamming Hottie. Well done, Neil.
One of my friends on Facebook, Mr. Philip Torpy, he actually started watching it the other night, the same night I watched it. So I said I really enjoyed it, and he said that Zoe's a bit fit. Yeah, just a bit, yeah.
Great use of the English language. Which bit of her is fit?
Anything from the hairline down, generally.
Exactly. Brilliant. Finally, Dutton, you've seen the BBC drama, right?
I have. Excellent performance by Ian Richardson as Francis Urquhart, MP.
MP, yeah. I watched it. I love watching it with my dad. You could say that, but I couldn't possibly comment. One of the great lines in TV drama history. It's a good remake by the Americans, and if anything, because of the way US politics works, it might actually work better in America than it does in the UK.
Yeah, I think so, because the Michael Dobbs book, the BBC version, it was still slightly idealised world of politicians that people like Francis Urquhart, they're probably there, but they're a very, very small minority. No, they're all like him. You know what I mean? They're all crooked. They're all in it for what they can get out of it. So, this one is a bit more, with the, as you say, with the vagaries of the American political system and how the ladder can be climbed. This seems to be, I mean, as you say, I mean, it's similar to West Wing. I mean, I learnt an awful lot how the process of government works from West Wing just by observing what goes on in the background almost. And that's similar to what this is. I mean, some people may not know what the majority whip in the American government actually is.
Exactly. And I think Dutton's hit the nail on the head. If you love House of Cards and you haven't seen West Wing, although it's a few years old now, please go back and watch it. It's one of the best written TV shows ever.
I've still not seen the last series.
That's probably my fault.
It's probably your fault, but it's also tactical on mine. In that if I don't watch the last series, it's never finished.
Oh, good. I like what you're saying there, Dutton. So we both agree that we love House of Cards and we're going to keep on watching.
We are.
Excellent.
Thanks to Kate.
Thanks to Kate again.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate. This has been episode 58 of Waxing Lyrical with Mainz and Dutts. We're going to finish on a thank you. Thank you for downloading.